Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Manifesting Me Show. It's the second official week of this renamed weekly live. And so I am going to be talking to you guys today about the problem with goals and resolutions, at least the traditional standard way of setting goals and resolutions. So if you're someone that does not resonate or just is not inspired by the traditional or what you've tried so far, if you have even tried of setting goals and resolutions, I'm going to bring to you my spin and my take. So I have three ways of thinking, tips, if you will, to share with you today. And see if that helps, see if it resonates with you, because this is something that became, I don't know if I would say apparent, but it became clearer to me why it was not working for me before. Because I really was never inspired. I was never really drawn to setting resolutions and goals. It just was blah. And I realized it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. It did not excite me in any way. So again, that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. And if you are new to this, to these videos, they are recorded live go live on Facebook, my Facebook page, and my Instagram page, usually on Wednesdays. This week, it's on a Thursday. And then it becomes a podcast episode. So you can listen or participate or check it out in any way that works best for you. So I'm going to just go with it. I see a low or kind of like unstable internet, but it looks like it's leveling out. So I'm just going to go with it. So let's see. I don't know if I can see all the comments, but we're going to keep going. So the problem with goals and resolutions. The problem that I've experienced is that setting goals and resolutions, we tend to be guided, or we just tend to fall into setting resolutions and goals that are practical, reasonable, safe, maybe even boring. And this is completely my perspective. I wrote in here, AKA SMART goals, because they don't excite me. They might not excite you either. And the way I see it, they tend, at least resolutions more so, tend to set you up to start the year already feeling defeated or bored by them because they don't excite and inspire you. And I will just kind of jump back and say that I personally don't do well with setting SMART goals. There are people, obviously, that SMART goals and that format really works for. But this Manifesting Me show that I'm bringing to you is my experience of things and ways of maybe seeing things differently if it also hasn't worked for you, or just to kind of take a listen and see what resonates, what doesn't. As with anything, it has to mean something to you. It has to inspire you, and you're the one that has to do the work, just like I'm the one that has to do the work for myself and you for yourself. So take what fits, what resonates, leave what doesn't, tweak it, make it your own, just like I'm doing. Because really, that is ultimately what I'm doing. I'm exemplifying how I tweak and make things my own. And then I am here to help you do that as well. So the standard SMART goals, resolutions, I say that resolutions set you up for failure or already feeling defeated. That's a better way of saying it. They set you up at the beginning of the year already feeling defeated, because how many times have you said, or have you heard other people say, well, maybe I'll get farther this year than I did last year. Maybe, or hopefully, I will do better or stick with it longer than I did last year or than I have before. That doesn't sound inspiring, at least to me. it always is like, well, I didn't do it last year, or I sucked at it last year. At least that's how I'm perceiving things. And hopefully I won't be as bad or won't suck at it this year, or I'll suck less. So that's why I don't do resolutions. I do intentions. And I also do now my way of setting goals that I'm going to talk about. So that's the problem. They don't inspire. They set you up feeling defeated, possibly. So what should you think of instead? Or what is something that you can do instead if you're also someone that doesn't resonate with the standard, traditional, suggested, mainstream, whatever way of doing these things? I recommend that you think about, or you focus about, your unrealistic dreams and goals, the ones that excite you, which are the ones that I refer to as your rock star dreams. And when I say unrealistic, not the ones, it's like thinking that they won't happen, because actually thinking that they will happen is the key. But unrealistic, the ones that most people say, oh, that's too far out there. That's too big a dream. That'll never happen. That's not for you. That's too hard. Who are you to want that? Those kinds of dreams. I think we all have them. We may not have verbalized them or even acknowledged them, but I am sure that somewhere, even if some digging and exploring and getting curious is required, I believe that they're there. They're there. These outrageous, audacious, bold rock star dreams. So those are the ones that I think we should be setting. And before I get into the tips and all that, I'm going to tell you why. In just a second. I'm looking at my notes here and I'm reeling myself back in to stay on track. So think about, or kind of keep this in mind, your rock star, audacious, bold, unrealistic dreams. That's what we're going to be digging for today. And with that, when you start focusing on those goals, those desires, you set goals and set intentions to help you achieve goals that excite you and motivate you and inspire you, and quite probably most of the time also scare you a little bit or a lot. And that is a good sign. If they scare you, if they feel like a stretch, like, oh man, like those nervous butterflies, but wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome or really cool if that were possible? It is possible. I am here to tell you that it is. So that's the outcome. When you find the goal or the dream, the desire, the ambition that excites you, then it stays top of mind. Then you start taking actions that move you in that direction. Because if they don't inspire you, then who cares? Why would we take things, take action or stick with things that don't inspire us? And so a story or a little bit of an example that I have about this, I was talking with my friend Jamie during a co-working session the other day, and she had commented in the conversation, she said something about she's being guided, or the universe is kind of telling her that she needs to lean more into dreaming and having fun like she did when she was a kid, right? And instead of, and that tied right in to looking and dreaming and focusing on your rock star dreams, the big audacious ones. And my take on that, which really blended beautifully with what Jamie was talking about, is that my take on it is the everyday goals don't inspire me. But if I look at the big things that I want, like some people might call frivolous or extravagant or big goals, desires that I have, then if I take action to reach those things, to accomplish those things, to move me closer to being able to do those things, guess what? The mundane, the run-of-the-mill, the day-to-day goals that we tend to set as our goals and intentions or as resolutions, they automatically get taken care of. So here's an example. I would love to have like season tickets to the major theme parks around here, like Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studios. I would love to have that, right? That just sounds like I can go whenever I want, go as often as I want, just go for a little bit, go for a whole day. That sounds like fun and excitement and adventure to me. Having season passes for all of these amusement parks here in the LA, Southern California area. And so that excites me. And then I start taking action as the person who has that. And achieving those goals will mean, like, if I have the funds and the means and the freedom to spend on that, it means all of the day-to-day things are taken care of. My rent is taken care of, my savings, my bills. So those types of goals don't excite me. Like, some people really get excited about, oh, I want to live in this particular place or in this particular neighborhood. I really don't. I really don't have a specific area or a specific goal in mind. So I'm not thinking about how much will I need to make or how much is the rent, and that's what, or to buy a house, because that doesn't excite me, at least right now. But by becoming the person and working towards having enough disposable income to buy season tickets for all the amusement parks, all of that day-to-day stuff is already taken care of. So I really don't need to focus on it because it's incorporated. It's kind of like grandfathered in, right? And to me, when that took root, when that thought formed in my brain, it's like, oh, I don't need to worry about all that stuff. I don't need to worry about the stuff that doesn't excite me, because by focusing on what does excite me, all this other stuff is already included and taken care of. So I don't know. Let me know if that is something that resonates with you, or that is just like, just a new way of looking at it. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you, suggestion, tip, activity, whatever it comes across as to you, is decide or identify what excites you. And what I mean by that is which framework. Because like I said, SMART goals are not for me, but they are for some people. So decide, I'm going to give you 2 sets of words here and see which one excites you more. First set of words is rockstar dreams, audacious goals, unrealistic, exciting, far-fetched. That's the first set of words. And then the second set of words is safe, structured, planned. Which one gives you the tinglies, right? That really kind of says, okay, maybe this is possible for me, or maybe I can start looking at it this way. Choose or create words that resonate with you based on those 2 groups. So you need to decide which way you're going to look at it, because it's really both 2 sides of the same coin, which is the same thing for pretty much everything in life. It's duality. It's which way you choose to look at it, which way works better for you, but it's 2 sides of the same coin. So you need to decide, because trying to force yourself to fit or get excited about one that doesn't inspire you, that doesn't fit, is really going to have the adverse effects. It's not going to work for you, and it might work against you because you're trying to force something that is just not happening. And it doesn't mean that for every goal or every desire, it's going to be the same set of words. It might be different based on the goals or the desires, based on your season in life, where you are, based on, the area of life that it's for. So it doesn't have to always be one or the other. So you need to decide which set, like the big, bold, audacious ones, or like the structured, planned, structured, systematic, that type of energy works. Which one is it for you? And because I did try to force myself to think reasonably and to set safe goals and to set achievable goals, and that's why I never went for them, because they didn't excite me. So that's the first part. I'm doing a new way. If you're watching me on video, or watching this on video, you're kind of seeing me go through this. I'm trying a new way of keeping my notes because I do it on the screen, but it's always an experiment. So, the next thing, if you're thinking that you love the rock star dreams, right? Like that aspect excited you, but somewhere in the back of your head, or you have this niggling thought, like I like to call it, that you love the rock star dreams and this idea of going for your rock star dreams, but that there has to be some practicality that plays a part, or that is included in here somewhere. There is a space for both. And regardless of which side of the coin excited you the most, I'm going to give you a scenario or a way to work with this for both sides of the coin. So yes, there's a place for practical, even if you choose the rock star, audacious, big, bold, scary, exciting dreams. Identify. So if you have a rock star dream and that's what you're working with, or this type of phrasing, philosophy, words, have that in mind. Have that as, your North Star. Have that as your big picture. And then identify practical steps and actions to get you there, right? And just because I keep using the word rock star dreams, that's because I like that energy. I like how that, the emotions that evokes for me. But let's use a rock star as an actual example. Being a rock star, selling out stadiums, being the biggest rock star in the world, that is an audacious, big, bold dream. And many people have had that dream. And many people, I'm sure, currently have that dream. Now, the practical part that comes into that is, where are you going to play? And finding places to start playing. Maybe it's actually putting a band together. Maybe it's learning the damn instrument to begin with, right? So these are practical steps. These are practical and reasonable steps to get you started and move you in the direction of that dream. So that's what I mean by there's a place for both. Now, if you're on the side of the coin that really is inspired or leans towards the SMART goals, the practical, the structured, these planned, planning all of the steps, then great. What is the thing that you're working towards still? And your excitement, your rock star step, or the thing that you work with that is the out of your comfort zone. It's the out of your comfort zone. Plan your goals, plan your steps, plan your strategies, but include action steps that move you outside of your comfort zone. The action steps are the things that scare you. Right? The actions themselves are the thing that make you go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. So see how either side of the coin incorporates both concepts, both philosophies. It's simply which one calls to you the most, or for the thing that you're working towards. So that is the second thing. Either go with rockstar dreams and identify practical, actionable steps, or plan your strategy to your dream and identify scary steps along the way to get you there. And those scary steps will also serve to open up and maybe get you thinking bigger as you take those steps and see that you can do it and see the results that come from it. And so moving on from that, the next kind of component of the story is, as kids, we naturally dream big, right? I want to be a rock star. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a cowboy, whatever it is. We dream really big, very naturally as kids. And when we're little like that, there's really no danger in it, right? Like adults or our teachers or family members, whatever, say, that's so cool, or that's cute, or they laugh and, encourage us or don't, but there's really no danger. Just kids daydreaming. So as we start to grow up and we absorb, what we're taught by example, that's where we absorb the fears, the doubts, the negative thoughts, because people do then start to voice them to us, or we hear, the thoughts and beliefs of the people that we grow up with and that we live with. We're absorbing this consciously and subconsciously. So we naturally do this. That's why I think, like I said at the beginning, that there is a big, audacious, unrealistic rock star dream somewhere in there. It might be dormant, it might be kind of covered up, it might be hidden, but I am sure that there's something in there. So the third tip that I'm going to leave you with today is to think back about the things that excited you as a kid, or the things you wanted to try as a kid, or maybe even a young adult, right? Young adult, teenager, whatever, comes to mind for you. Think back to what excited you. And also, or, again, there's always more than one way of doing things. Think about what is uniquely yours that has been dimmed, or that you have dimmed because it noticeably made other people uncomfortable, and start to breathe some life back into that by getting curious about it. Explore where that came from. Explore what thoughts you had as a kid. And the thing for me that I think, still makes, but now it doesn't bother me so much, other people uncomfortable, is me. I'm a naturally loud person. I'm a naturally loud. I laugh loud. I talk loud. I do not have a natural indoor voice. And that is something that throughout life I've been told, oh, not so loud, or use your indoor voice, or, oh my gosh, you're so loud. And so I tended to try and quiet that down. And of course it didn't feel good, because now I see that as my superpower. I'm loud because I have things to say that are meant to be heard. And that's how I rise above or catch people's attention, or I don't know, make it stick in people's head, or you remember me because I'm loud, whatever the case is. That is something for me that was not encouraged, or was like, oh, tone it down a little bit. Not so loud. Do you have to talk that loud? Do you talk that way naturally? I mean, these are things that just off the cuff that I, have been said to me throughout my life. And so is there something about you that is uniquely yours that makes other people uncomfortable? Whether it's a belief system, the way you dress, the way you express yourself, being loud like me, whatever, too sensitive, the things that people say you're too something, too much of something, too loud, too quiet, too emotional. All of these things, start thinking back, get those wheels turning, because that is the thing that is uniquely yours. And if it makes other people uncomfortable, we tend to dim it, or that's what other people try and get us to do as well. Of course, they don't use those words, but think about your thing, your too much. What about you makes other people uncomfortable? What do you think? Oh, I can't be like this in this situation because it's not appropriate. Or where you dim, when you're by yourself and you're just all you, what are things from that version of you that you don't carry out into other scenarios, be it work or your social life, or, activities and hobbies or whatever that you participate in? So the three things that I shared with you is to decide what resonates with you, like the rock star, bold, audacious dreams, or the structured, smart, planned type of focus, type of energy. That's number one. Number two is identify the goals and desires. For the rock star dream one, identify the actionable, practical steps. And if you are on the SMART goal side, identify some scary steps to move you in that direction. And then the third thing is think back to what excited you as a kid or when you were younger, or think back to what is uniquely yours that has either naturally been dimmed by yourself, or by others because it made them uncomfortable, but it's uniquely your trait, and start to breathe some life back into it by getting curious, right? If you can start living and embodying that more and just kind of letting it loose more, that's the ultimate goal. But get curious as to what it is that is your, unique sauce, your secret sauce, your light, your snowflake quality that makes you uniquely yours. And so as of I'm recording this on January 11th of 2024, and today is the new moon in Capricorn. So whether you're watching this, right around the time that I'm recording this or sometime down the road in the future, all these things apply. But at the new moon right now, you can set intentions for how you want to feel based on these 3 steps that I just talked to you about. What is the thing that, does being loud make you feel confident? Does being loud, and I'm using myself as an example, is it being loud makes you feel heard? What is it how do you want to feel? And it might not actually have anything to do with your uniqueness. It might be the thing that helps you bring that to life. So if you want to feel confident, again, I'm using my example. Let's say, because this is something I have worked through, wanting to feel confident in speaking my opinion, speaking in the way that I naturally want to speak, and not dimming that, not curtailing that. So I want to feel confident is something that I have worked with. And in order to do that, I had to practice saying the things I wanted to say, disagreeing with people respectfully when I did disagree, actually voicing my opinion. And that was uncomfortable at first. It was a desired result to feel confident, but to get to that confidence, I had to go through a lot of discomfort and experience a lot of discomfort and do it anyway. You guys might be familiar with the saying, something that goes like, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. Well, my voice shook quite a bit. And sometimes it still does. I think there's multiple layers that I have not even tapped into yet, that I have not, I am not as bold and speaking directly as I can get. I have no doubt. So I still have layers of discomfort to move through, but I've also moved through several already and can see a difference. I don't argue when people disagree, or I don't feel like I have to defend myself and get loud in an unhealthy way, in a way, that doesn't, move me in a direction. I used to get loud in arguments before. Now I just get loud in saying the things I want to say, that are my beliefs, my thoughts, how I work with people. So there's definitely always 2 sides, duality to, I think, all aspects of life. So if this type of information, excites you or resonates with you, you want to learn more, I invite you to join the Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group, because in that group, I have a monthly new moon manifesting mentoring call where I talk about the new moon in the zodiac and setting intentions. I did one earlier today, so you can catch that replay. It will remain available, in the group indefinitely. I also do a full moon manifesting mentoring call where we talk about the full moon and the zodiac and releasing and all those things. And then I have a monthly free class or challenge or activity in the group as well. And if Facebook is not your thing, then I invite you to get on my email list, because each of the new moon and full moon calls is also live on my YouTube channel. And then the free classes are also, you can register and join by Zoom. So like I said, there is no one size fits all for everyone. So if Facebook is not your thing, I do make it available outside of Facebook, and getting on my email list is the best way to learn when they're coming up, how to register, get the links to all the things. And I will put the link to both the group and how to get on my email list around this video, depending, or this podcast. Because if you're listening to it on a podcast platform without video, then in the show notes, in the descriptions, this is going to be made available. You can find the podcast on YouTube, on all podcasting platforms, and of course here or on the Facebook page, as well as my Instagram. The replays will be available as well. So look around and see where you can find the links to get to those places. And if you're having trouble or you just have questions, message me, comment, send me an email directly. It's vision, VISION, at bluemoonmanifestations.com. And that is what I have for you today. So my take on why I think the traditional standard way of working with goals and resolutions is a problem, and what I have found to work better for me, and hopefully that helps you as well. I would love to know your thoughts on email or in the group or comments, wherever works for you. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Take care.